For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. Now, here's the thing. The Messiah said, whosoever shall teach others to disobey the command shall be the least in the kingdom. What's that least? Right here. Let's read it again. Verse 24. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. You see that? So, disobedience, brothers and sisters, he says that you are going to be an abhorrence to all flesh. All flesh are going to see you when you sin and when you violate the commands of the Most High. They're going to see you. And they're going to know these are the people that have transgressed against me. Okay. Now, what is a transgression? Transgression, sin is transgressing against the law of the Most High. It's in the scriptures. Read it. And stop trying to read through Shaul, Paul's teaching, and say, I'm saved by grace and I don't have to keep the law. The law has been done. You're going to end up right there in Isaiah, Yahshuwah, chapter 66, verse 24. An abhorrence to all flesh for violation of the laws and statutes and commands of the Most High Yahweh. All right, now, let me get back. So, Jesus did away with the commandments, and Jesus changed the Sabbath from the seventh day to Sunday. Yahshuwah taught the commandments. We just went over. He kept the Sabbath, and he taught to obey his law, statutes, and commands of the Most High. Now, Jesus, brothers and sisters, put an end to the feast days. Jesus put an end to the feast days. But Yahshuwah, on the other hand, kept the Passover and told them to keep it. And in addition to him telling them to keep it, he became the Passover lamb. Yahshuwah, we're talking about Yahshuwah. He became the Passover lamb. Let's look at Yahoo chapter 26, verse 18. Yahoo chapter 26. Verse number 18. Yahoo chapter 26, verse 18. And it reads, and he said, now who's this speaking? This is Yahshuwah. He said, go into the city to such a man and say unto him, the master master saith, my time is at hand, I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. So the Messiah told them, he said that his time has come. He says, I will keep the Passover. This is what he said. I will keep the Passover. The Messiah, who you call Jesus incorrectly, said, I will keep the Passover. Now, what's the problem? All right, let's go over to Luke chapter 22 and verse 19. Luke chapter 22, verse 19. All right, Luke chapter 22 and verse 19. And it says, and he took the bread and gave thanks and broke it and gave it unto them, saying, this is my body. Now, we just showed you that the Messiah was keeping the Passover. He said in the scripture here, he said, he took it again, took the bread and gave thanks and broke it and gave it to them, saying, this is my body, which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me. Now, he didn't say on the first Sunday, brothers and sisters. He didn't say on the second Sunday. He didn't say on the third Sunday or the fourth Sunday. He said, do this in remembrance of me. What was he keeping? The Passover, not first Sunday communion service. Oh, brothers and sisters, boy, I'm telling you, Satan has got us so blinded to the truth. We thinking that this was Communion Sunday. No! He was keeping the feast of Passover. And he said, do this in remembrance of me. Now, So when the Passover comes around the month of Abib, he says to keep the Passover. That's what he's saying. Not keep communion service on Sunday, first or second or third or fourth Sunday. Keep the Passover. That's what he's talking about. He says, do this in remembrance of me. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of that because we already know the story. Now, let's go over to 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7. The words of Shaul, the apostle Shaul, who you call Paul. His real name is Shaul. He was a Hebrew. 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7. Now, I know you're not getting this in Sunday school. I know you're not getting this in your church. So you think it's something strange because you're hearing something that you're not used to hearing. Well, keep reading. That's all I got to say. Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7, it says, purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. Now, underline unleavened, because unleavened is symbolic of sin. Now, unleavened, of course, was the scripture says, first that which is natural and that which is spiritual. So he dealt with the natural first to communicate to a people a spiritual thing. Okay, leaven represents sin. Now, he says, purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even the Messiah, our Passover, is sacrificed for us. So Yahshuwah taught to keep the Passover in remembrance of him, and he became the lamb, the Passover lamb. So we got some Hebrews out here who don't believe Yeshua was the Passover lamb. We just read it right there. Okay, now, so on the feast days, people are talking about, well, you know, how am I going to get a lamb to keep the lamb for the Passover? You don't need a lamb. Yahshuwah is the lamb. Okay? You keep the feast in remembrance of him with bread and with wine. That's what he did. He said, and it wasn't grape juice. It wasn't Kool-Aid. It wasn't water. It was bread and wine. Okay? So it's not a sin for you to have bread and wine. Okay? Now, I'm not telling you to go out and get drunk. That's stupid. That's foolishness. I'm saying that Yeshua gave them bread and wine and said, do this in remembrance of me. Not on the first Sunday, not on the second or third or fourth, but during the Passover. Not on Easter, we're going to deal with that in a minute, but on the Passover. All right, now, so Yahshuwah said, do this in remembrance of me. He became the Passover lamb. Now, next point I want to make is that Jesus, brothers and sisters, Jesus was the Easter bunny. You know, Jesus is the Easter bunny. Jesus was the Easter bunny, and Jesus is the Easter egg. All right? He's the Easter bunny. He's the Easter egg. He died on Good Friday. We're talking about Jesus now. Jesus is the Easter bunny, the Easter egg, and where our kids get up and they say their Easter piece, they put on a little Easter hat and say, Jesus rose on Easter Sunday morning. They nailed him to the tree. They took him before Pilate judgment hall. Okay? That's what we're talking about, Easter. You say, brother, why are you being smart? I'm just pointing out something so you can see the reality of this thing, brothers and sisters. It's deeper than what your religious mind will allow you to go. Look at what he says here. He says, Jesus was the Easter bunny, and Jesus was the Easter egg. Jesus died on Good Friday. He died on Good Friday, and he rose on Easter Sunday morning, and bright in the morning. No! Stop it! Please!